Good morning, students. Now we'll be doing today our chapter 8 of business studies, that is controlling. Now here, let us go through this introduction part. So controlling, as we know, this is the last function of the management. So it is a very important management function because it is related to this taking of this measures and preventive action to ensure achievement of organization goal. Means what are they trying to say here? Already in the first chapter we learned about this nature and concepts, wherein we also came to know about the functions of management, where the planning was the first function of management. So after that, when all the plans are being discussed in planning, so according to that planning, organizing, staffing, everything was going on. So similarly, controlling will also be done on the same plans which are pre-decided by the organization, which means the target which are set needs to be accomplished. For that, controlling is done. Okay, so it is just simply done for the achievement of the organizational goal or the set targets. So here it's the meaning of controlling. Here the controlling function can be defined as a comparison of the actual performance with the planned performance. So whatever is planned, and it will be checked by this actual performance which has been done now. It is, if there is any difference of deviation, then finding the reasons for such difference and taking corrective actions or any steps to stop these reasons, so that in the future there is match between actual and planned performance. Now here they're trying to say that if any case of deviation is there, deviation is just a kind of thing. If you have planning for making 100 units, and if you are unable to make the 100 units, like only 50 you manage to make, then this is a case of a deviation. Means you have not accomplished your target on time. So this is a kind of thing which will be checked, and they will be finding out the reason why that thing has happened, why the target is not accomplished. So after that they'll be taking corrective action, they will have to take some corrective actions regarding it. So in the future what will happen, the same mistake will not be done, and the in future the target will be attained for sure. Now here let us read about the scope or the area of controlling. So this area of controlling is very high. It does not end only by comparing this actual with the planned performance, but it tries to find the reasons and solutions for such problems. So it is not about just checking the actual performance with the planned performance here. Simply here what they are going to do, they will be finding out the reasons why certain things are happening in the company, and they will try to control the things. And the problems can arise anywhere, and controlling is required everywhere. If you talk about sales, so in sales also controlling needs to be done. You'll have to talk to the salesperson from time to time. You'll have to push them hard in order to do the more sales in the market. Similarly, production field is also like that. In the production department also, there are targets, planned targets are there for them to manufacture certain units. So for that again you'll have to control the thing. If in a month they are planning to make 200 units, then it should be completed within that month only, then only the target of 200 units should be complete. So in this case they are going to find the reasons if certain things are not accomplished, and they will be finding some solution for those problems. Okay, so same kind of example is given here. Now basically here there are two types of control are there. First is strategic control and second is operational control. So let us understand this first. What is strategic control? See, it refers to the check how effective the strategies and plans are, because sometimes there can be deviation in actual performance and planned performance due to planned strategies. So here a mismatch or deviation can be seen in actual performance and planned performance, simply because if suppose you planned for 100 units and your production is happening or turning out to be 120 units, then definitely your capacity is more than that. So what is the problem here? The planning has not done properly. So in this case mismatch is due to this underestimation of the plan. You underestimated the planning and you planned only for 100, uh, whether instead you could have gone for making or setting a plan of 120 units. So that means this is under planned. So it is called a strategic control. So it needs to be checked. Afterward what will company do? Company will definitely the next time when this will happen, when the actual output is 120, next time what company is going to do? Company is going to set target for 120 units for sure. And definitely for this also they'll be finding out reason, because this is a positive thing. They set a target for 100 only, but 120 actual output has been done. So that means it has been overachieved somehow. So there are two things actually. Maybe overachievement can be there, that is the cause of positive deviation. Then also they'll be trying to find out the reason, and they'll be checking, and they'll be setting this target again. Or it can be a condition like when this planning is not proper, when this capacity is there and the planners are setting a target which is well below the actual standard or the actual production capacity, that is not good for the company. So in this way, this is strategic control. The company should understand this thing and they should set the target accordingly. The second control is should be on the operational aspect, where the actual people are working in the company. So you need to check the people how they are working actually in the company. If they are working with too many intervals and too many breaks, then again this is not a kind of thing which can lead you to attainment of the goals in the organization. Definitely you'll have to keep control over their activities as well. So this is called as operational control. So it refers to the focus of manager and other activities of the organization, that is to find out whether the mismatch is due to the fault in the action or activities. In both the aspect, manager try to find out the reason of mismatch and take corrective action. So it doesn't matter whether it is strategic control or operational control. Even it can be done by the negligence of the workers, and sometimes it can be a reason of mismatch of the plannings. So both can be the reason, and both the places the manager will have to take the control. Okay. Now, after this, the nature of controlling. Now, in the first point of this nature of controlling, the controlling is a goal-oriented function. Means there will always be some target for that controlling is done. So basically, this controlling is a goal-oriented function. So we always make sure that the whatever the plans are there, work is there, it should be accomplished as per planning. So plan always aim at achieving organization goal, and for achieving this organization goal, you will have to do controlling. So this is the nature of controlling, that it is simply done to attain the goals or targets. Then second point, it is in all pervasive function. Now, like all other function, this is also pervasive or universal. So controlling is not the task of top level managers only, but it every level, top, middle level, this will be performed. Then the third point is controlling is both backward looking and forward looking function. So controlling is backward looking function because see it will measure compare the planned performance with the actual performance, and to measure the actual performance they have to look back to the performance already done. Means always the targets are set according to the past experiences. So past experience, on the basis of that they are going to set the target for future, and the planned performance which is based on the past experience, for that the future for the target will be set for future. So this is a backward looking as well as forward looking function. Okay. So controlling is forward looking also because it does not end only by comparing past with the future, but it also suggests measure to remove the reasons for failure of the plans. So whatever the mistakes has happened in the past, all those mistakes should not repeat in the future. So this is how we can attain the goal more easily in the future. Now the last point, controlling is a continuous function. So controlling is the last function, but it is an ongoing process. And for every year we are going to set some kind of plan. So definitely controlling will be continued for each and every year. So it is carried on till the organization is surviving. Means it is a continuous activity. Now, what is the importance of controlling? Why it is done? So first point is help in achieving organization goal. Definitely, when the plans are set, the targets are set, simply controlling is done to attain all those kind of targets. So when the plans are made in the organization, these are directed towards the achievement of the organization goal. And the controlling function ensures that all the activity in the organization take place according to the plan. And if there is any deviation, timely action is taken to bring back the activities on the path of planning. Where all the activities are going according to the plan, then automatically this will direct towards the achievement of the goals. So any time, any point of time when they see that the target will not be attained at the end of the month, you are realizing that your target will not be accomplished, then maybe we can tell the workers to work overtime, and we'll try to control this target on time or achieve this target on time. So this can be done in at any point of time. If we know already that target cannot be achieved in a specified time limit, then we can go for it. So it helps in achievement of the company goals or targets. Then second point is judging accuracy of the standards. The standard is always set. So it is just like in controlling, when the standards are set, we are working according to those standards. Like if our standard production is producing 500 units per month, then definitely this is our standard, and we must always try to produce as per our standards, means 500 units or more can be produced. So we will be judging according to that, we'll be judging our standards. So through strategic control we can easily judge whether the standard or set target are accurate or not. Any accurate control system revises standard from time to time to match them with environmental changes. So we can adjust this set target from time to time as per the business environment, and we can easily control this system, and we can change the standard. It is not fixed that always you have to make 500 unit, it is the standard and it cannot be changed. If it turn out to be that you can make more, like more than 500, you can suppose you can make 600 unit, then the next target they can set for 600 unit also. So it can change, it can be revised. So that is the importance of the controlling. Now third point, making efficient use of resources, means always there should be no wastage in the company. Definitely when there will be no wastage, there will be efficient use of the resources. So like traffic signal control guides the organization and keep it on the right track. Each activity is performed according to the predetermined standards. As a result, there is more effective use of resources. So already the resources are allocated keeping in mind the set targets. So according to that, the resources will be used. So there will be no wastage, which ensures the better controlling. Then the fourth point, improves employees' motivation. It's an effective control system, communicate the goals and standard of appraisal of the employees and subordinate as well in advance. A good control system also guide employee to come out of their problems. This free communication cares motivate the employee to get the better performance. So here even the employees are getting motivated simply because when the employees are also get appraised, means when the employees after 1 year completion of 1 year, they'll be getting appraisal based on their performance. So even their performance will be checked. They are going to check or keep control over all the kind of employees, and they are going to check whether that particular is employee is working according to the set criteria or not. So there will be some key performance indicators, KPIs in short we call it. KPIs every employee should produce this much or work this much quantity, or this much of sales he should generate. So these KPI should be achieved by the employees, and on the basis of that employee will be promoted or he will be getting some increment in the salary. So it always motivates him, because when controlling is done, definitely everything is checked, data is checked that how employee is working. So this is how we can improve the employees, and they will be feeling motivated that somebody is checking their work at least. Now fifth, ensure order and disciplines. So control what it creates an atmosphere of order and discipline in the organization. So effective control system keeps the subordinate under check and makes sure they perform their functions efficiently. So everybody will be in order and discipline, then definitely everybody is going to work with efficiency, no wastage will be there. So this sharp control can have check over dishonesty and fraud of the employees. It is always considered to be good thing to check the dishonest employees in the organization. In order to this, we always try to keep some control over all these kind of activities. Fraudulent activities can happen in the company, so it is very important to keep in control all these employees. So strict control monitor employees work on computer monitor, which brings more order and discipline in the work environment should be done. In this way we can easily control the employees. Now the sixth point is facilitates coordination in action. The control helps in maintaining equilibrium, means and ends. Controlling makes sure that the proper direction is taken and that various factors are maintained properly. All the departments are controlled according to the predetermined standard, which is a well coordinated with each other. So here, as we know, there are different departments. So coordination is done between them. So controlling in each and every department has to be done. Otherwise, the coordination will not be possible. Suppose if the production department is making Suppose here the production department is planning for 500 cars, then sales department should also plan to sell those 500 cars. If suppose if the marketing units or the sales are planning for 500 cars and production department is manufacturing only 300 cars, then there is 200 cars short in the market. So this is not good actually. So this is how they cannot coordinate between each other. So this sales department and this production department are not doing coordination properly, because if one is not controlling, like in production department the control is not there, then definitely the target will not be achieved. So this can be a problem, so it facilitates the coordination also. Okay, now after this, the controlling process. So in the controlling process, the first thing is setting up the target. The first thing which will be done in controlling process, the target has to be decided. The standard will be there. Some standard will be set, because this is the planned. This is what we target is always planned. Actually, it is planned. We should write this is planned standard or planned target, which will be there, and according to it the actual performance will be checked. So this is a standard which is been set here as a target or yardstick against which the actual performance is measured. Okay, so the standard becomes the basis of the comparison, and the manager insists on the following standard. So manager is always going to talk about this standard. According to the standard only you are going to do production and all the other kind of activities. So the standard must be achievable first of all, but means it should be in the range of the company. Like if you want to manufacture 1,000 car a year, then that should be like your production capacity should be like that. Means you should be able to produce that much, so it should be achievable. High or very high standard which cannot be achieved are of no use. So standard must be keep in mind the resources of the company. As I told you about, this production capacity should be assessed, and according to that only the target should be set. So suppose here there is an example given, standard sale of 20 lakh per annum is given, the standard profit 4 lakhs. These are the condition, or you can say the parameters against which the performance will be checked. So standard sale should be of 20 lakh per year. Then here profit should be of 4 lakhs maybe per year. Then reduction in cost should be there by 5%. It should not be increased. If it turns out to be 6%, then definitely your controlling is not proper. So against this, the cost, they are going to measure or check the performance of the company. So sometimes it is not possible to express the standard in numerical terms. For example, setting up quality standard or standard of managerial work, the standard must specify the time limit within which they have to be achieved. As far as the possible, standard must be set up in the short term. So here the standard of the managerial work, there are something like the performance of the manager cannot be predicted, or they cannot be, tell that how this manager is going to work in the future. So there are no such standard, but still the performance of the manager is judged according to the work now within which they have to be achieved. Means there will be some time period for achievement of the target. It is not like that any time you can achieve the target. For 5 years also you can achieve the target. There will be some time bound limit for particular target. If long term standards are set up, they must be divided into short term. For example, standard sale of 12 lakhs per month, a 1 lakh target can be taken for comparison. So if your target is 12 lakhs, it can be easily divided into 1 lakh for 12 months. So this is how you can just break it into smaller parts. With short-term targets or standard, the errors can be detected early and timely action can be taken. So easily you can identify from where the error has happened, and you can correct it. So this is how we can do this controlling very well. So the standard must be revised from time to time, keeping in mind the changes of the business environment. If the business environment is changing, suppose the social and in the social environment people are demanding more, then definitely your standard production should be increased. Then your standard may rise from 1,000 car to 1,500 car also. So some examples of standard in function are here. The production function can go for target production of 10,000 units per month. Standard cost can be then there for rupees 10 per unit cost. Then reduction in wastage of resources by 5%. Now again these are parameters like they have given above. So reduction in defective production from 10 to 5% by the end of year. So this much defective production 10 to 5% is acceptable. Beyond that limit it is unacceptable. So this is the parameter against which you can set the standard. In here marketing function, the target sales 1 lakh units per month should be there, increase in market share by 10% should be there, increase in advertisement cost should not happen or go by more by 10%, increase in expenditure after sales service should not be beyond 10% level. So this is how you can control the marketing function also. Now these are standards against which they will be checking your actual performance. Suppose your actual performance here is 12% here in case of advertisement cost, then definitely they will tell you that you have increased the advertisement cost, that we have spent a lot of money by advertisement, and this is not good for the company because actually we have increased the cost of the company, which simply means the reduction in the profit. Thus, the second step in this controlling process measuring of the performance. So whatever the work you are doing, it will be measured. So after setting up the standard, the performance of the employee is measured by evaluating the actual work done by the employees. So when the performance can be measured numerically, then it is very convenient to measure the performance. Now whatever the work is done by the employee, it will be recorded in form of numbers numerically, and then it will be measured against the standards. Now, after this, while measuring the performance, the quantitative as well as qualitative aspect of performance is kept in mind. Sometimes the employee achieve the quantitative standard by ignoring the qualitative standard. Means company want both the thing, quality and quantity. If you're going for quantity, suppose employee is making 1000 units, okay, in a month, and the quality is not there, then this is of no use. If we are not able to maintain the quality, that is not done. So both the balance should be there. So that is why measuring the performance quality standards are also measured. Certain quality parameters are fixed to measure the quality standard when the number of rejection or sales returns increases. So if your product is not of high quality, then definitely from the market it will be getting rejection. Market is going to just reject your product, like it happened in the case of the company Ranbaxy. 65,000 medicines were rejected from the market. So this is how, if you're not maintaining the quality of the product, then it will not going to sell in the market. So that is how you should produce. Both the things should be there, no? Then generally the performance of the measures is measured by looking at the overall efficiency level of the organization. So for this performance of the measure, they are going to check the overall the organization's performance. Okay, so what is the efficiency in the organization? They are going to check that, and on the basis of that, the manager performance will be analyzed. He will be getting appraisal. The performance of research and development is measured by the change in technology and updation of production department. The performance of the financial department is measured by checking the solvency and liquidity ratio, etc. Now there are different types of departments, so they are going to check everywhere whether there is some updation of the technology is there, or some kind of change is there in the ratios of the company, like financial ratio can be good. So in this is how they are going to check the performance of the managers also. So actual performance recorded for each and everyone. Then in the third step, they are going to compare against the standard. So after measuring the performance of the manager, compares the actual performance with the planned performance and standard. So here the actual work which you have done will be compared with the set standards. If there is match in both, then the controlling function ends there only. If 100 units they are asking and you're making the 100 units, that means you have done, you are working according to the standard. So here there is no problem. But if there is a mismatch or deviation, the manager trying to find out the deviation reason. Okay, now if suppose they ask for 100 units and you are making only 50, so this is a negative deviation. Okay, and now negative deviation, they are going to find the reason and they are going to correct it. So if the deviation is minor, then it should be ignored. See why they are saying this word, because if a minor variation is there, then it is acceptable. It is not like, suppose if the standard is making 500 kg of some kind of biscuits, and you have made 500 499 0.5 kg. So only 0.5 difference is there, so it is a minor deviation, it is acceptable. But if you're making only 400 instead of 500 kg of biscuits, then this is unacceptable. You are making 100 kg less, so that is a major deviation, so it cannot be ignored. Okay, this is how they're going to compare. Then fourth is analyzing deviations. So all the deviation need not to be brought to the notice of the top level management. A range of deviation should be established, as only cases beyond this range should be brought to the knowledge of the top level. As I told that the minor deviation should be neglected, only the major deviation should be brought into the light of the manager. They must divide the deviation into two categories of deviation. So, okay, so which needs to be attended urgently in one category, minor, or other is major. So insignificant decisions in the other category. Now there are basically two category which you must eye on, or two technique of analyzing deviation. The first one is critical point control. So it means keeping focus on some KRA, key result area, and if there is any deviation in key areas, then it must be attended urgently. Key areas are those which have impact on the whole organization. Now key result area is the parameter wherein the performance should be checked very strictly, because the whole organization success depends upon it. So for example, if there is an increase in the production cost by 5% per unit and there is increase in postal cost by rupees 20, then more focus should be to find out the reason for increase in cost of production, as it affects the profit and future revenue of the organization. So here you can see that only 5 by 5 rupees per unit is there, and here the postal cost is 20. So you should say that this should be ignored, but it is not the case here. This is production cost, and production cost is always huge. This is just 5 rupees per unit, but per unit cost is too much here. So actually the first point of attention should go towards this production cost, because it is going to bring down the profit. This postal cost can be ignored somehow, because postal cost 20 rupees is not incurred every time, and it is not going to bring in a lot of things, because when you do some kind of posting work, the charges of postal services are very minimal, which is very less, so this can be neglected. This is not increasing a huge cost of the company, but the production cost is here, it is changing by 5%, 5 rupees 5 per unit, which is a big thing. So this should get attention first. So this is a major deviation. It should be a critical point measure. We will always give attention to some important issues. Then MB is there, or management by exception is there. What does it mean? It means a manager who tries to control everything may end up controlling nothing. So don't try to control each and everything. Management by exceptions means जाने देना. If the some less critical issues are there, minor deviation are there, you can just let it go. No need to focus on such kind of thing. Always focus on big deviations. So the deviation which are beyond the specific range should be only be handled by the manager, and minor deviation should be ignored. This is how we can control. Okay. Now after this, what is the merit of this MBE? It saves time and effort for manager, because you're focusing not on the minors, only on the majors. So it saves a lot of time of the manager. Then second, it focus of attention of manager on important matters. Okay, so attention will be only on important matters. Third point, no wastage of time and energy of manager to solve the routine problem. These are solved by the subordinate. Now small problems can easily be solved by the subordinate. They can take care of it. No need to waste the energy of managers here. Now fourth point is differentiate between critical and simple problems. So here you can clearly understand that the big difference between the critical issues and the simple problems, which can be solved easily. So here the critical issues should be handled carefully. Now fifth step will be taking corrective actions. What is corrective actions? Means here we'll be comparing actual performance with the planned performance. Okay. So what happens when these measures or deviations are find out between the set plans and the actual performance? The next step is to know the reason. Okay, reason will be find out that why such deviation has happened. Okay, to remove this deviation in the future. Why you're finding the problems? Why this thing has happened? What was the reason of it? Because in future you don't want that thing to happen again. Okay, if there is mismatch in the target. Suppose target is not achieved simply because the workers were taking lot of leaves or employees were taking lot of leaves, then what we can do in this case? Now this is a kind of deviation. Definitely the target was not achieved. Then what we can do in this case? Definitely we will try to give some strict or take some strict action against the employees. Maybe we'll be cutting their salary or taking some corrective action against them, maybe giving them warning also. So this is how corrective action can be taken against the employees. So measure takes or measure the bring back everything on the track. So let the situation remain same if the deviations are minor. Okay, if the minor deviations are there, then no need to do anything. Then redesign or reframe the plans. You can reframe or just reorganize your plans or strategies once again. Maybe you underplanned something, and next time it is better to plan correctly. Then the third point, taking corrective measures to improve the performance so that in the future it matches with the plans. By taking the corrective action, what happens? You can actually improve the performance of the any kind of employee in the future, and definitely in the future you will be able to meet your set targets or set plans whatever the organization is having. So here corrective actions are very important. So here generally the manager take measure to improve the performance such as sending the employee for the training. So how this can be corrected? See, if the employees are not working nicely, then you can send them on training. Okay, if the deviation is due to inefficient performance, means if the employee is inefficient, you can send him on training once again. Then setting the machine repaired if daily performance is due to the fault in the machinery. Then repairing the of machinery can be done, or making the supervisor more responsive. You can tell the supervisor to keep strict supervision over the workers. This can be done. This is how also you can control the things. Then if delays due to carelessness and laziness of the employee, sometimes the manager have set the standard and target against if the standard are not realistic and achievable. So basically, if the worker is lazy or careless, so you can give him some strict warning against such kind of thing, and he'll be next time he'll not be working carelessly or lazily in the company. So this is how the standards can be controlled, and also the standard should be realistic. Means it is not like if your capacity is not of making 100 cars and you're setting target of 200 cars, then this set target is irrealistic. It cannot be achieved in any way. उसका आप अचीव नहीं कर सकते, तो ऐसा टारगेट सेट ही नहीं करना चाहिए. ओके, this is the thing we should look out for. So controlling action is very important over here. Now here, read from here. This revision of standard is called downward revision because standards are reduced to make them realistic and achievable. So sometimes targets should be reduced also. It is all not good to always set a very high target. You can reduce the target because if your capacity is not there to achieve something and you're setting a very high target, then it is not good. It should be achievable within the time bound limit, and also it should be realistic, means achievable by your resources or peoples. Sometimes the performance higher than the set standard, and this case upward revision of the plan is done, and the plan are set at a high rate so that the match with the actual performance. So suppose the capacity is there in your company, then definitely you should always try to go for high standard or high targets. You can set the high target because may be possible if you push the employee, means you'll have to try to create that inner zeal in the employee. You will have to motivate those people, and at the same time if you can control the things, definitely you can end up with achieving even a higher target also. So this can be done easily. So this is the last point here. You can easily achieve this actual performance which you can match the actual with the standards. Now this was the fifth point. Then the sixth point is feedback in the controlling. What is feedback in the controlling? The controlling function does not end up by taking corrective action, as it is a continuous process. So you will have to review it every time. So after suggesting corrective measures, a feedback report is prepared. So feedback refers to a list of reason of deviation plans or for inefficiency in overall working of the company, along with the reasons of corrective measures, and also specific the feedback report acts as the base to establish the standard for the next year. Now, what they will be doing here after this controlling, a feedback about that how the control has been done, all the deviation along with the reasons and the solution will be presented as a report in front of the management, and then management next time they are going to set or establish the standard for the upcoming years. So this is how the feedback of controlling is also very important. So this was the last step here. Okay, now deviation in controlling. This already I discussed about this. There's two types of deviation. This is the last part here. There are positive deviation and negative deviation. Positive means your actual production or actual performance better than the set plans. So this is a positive. They will be finding out the reason why this positive deviation has happened, and after that they're going to change their set standards. They're going to raise the bar or raise the standard. In negative deviation, what happens? Your actual performance is 80 units, but the plant was 80. So here again, this is a negative deviation which is not good. So maybe this can be a reason because of the breakdown of the machinery or the carelessness of the workers. So you'll have to take corrective action here also. Here also the corrective action should be taken. Here you are simply raising the set targets, and here you can control the workers or repair the machinery. Repairing of the machinery can be done. So both deviations are not good. Okay. So this is called as deviation in the controlling, wherein the mismatch is there between the plan and the plan is standards and the actual performance. So that's this was your chapter controlling was. So thank you. If you have any kind of doubt, you can ask me on WhatsApp. Thank you.